Today we will set up a new content document for an email campaign in the Hub. Content can be set up either by creating a new content document from scratch or by loading a zip file with all of your assets. The zip file will be covered in a different session. Today we will create a new content document from scratch. If we click on Design, either from the left-hand menu of the home screen or by mousing over the home menu from anywhere within the application, we can access the design area where we can create new content or new campaigns. If we select File, New, Email Document, this will allow us to create a new email content document. Select the blank template to create a new content piece from scratch. Be sure to select the correct audience for your campaign. Once selected, the audience cannot be changed. The audience type must be the same across all of your campaign assets, including your content, your recipient file, and your campaign. Click on Create to create the content document. You will now copy your content, including your text version, and your HTML version. It is recommended to edit your content locally and save it on your computer, and then copy and paste the final version to avoid losing any of your changes if you should become logged out. So here is the content that we've copied, and if we look at the text version, we'll note that there are a few things that need to be filled in. First, this content is using what we call personalization, or an object, to populate the first name. Objects can be populated using the object selections on the left of your screen. Data objects are anything that can be pulled from the recipient's information in the database. This may include name, address, or custom fields such as account number or other personalized fields. Simply drill down to the correct table, list, or a derived field or system variable which can be created ahead of time to find the field that you would like to populate. In this case, we're using the person audience, and so we can expand person to see all of the available fields that have been exposed for this audience. Locate the first name field and place your cursor where you would like the name to appear. Then simply drag the object onto your canvas by holding the mouse and dragging and then releasing anywhere on the canvas. You can then get rid of any placeholder text. And now the person's first name will be displayed when the actual final email is sent out. In addition to data objects, there are system or content objects available for your use. You can add a web view, which will generate a hosted version of the content for a specific recipient. This can be helpful in the text version in case recipients are not able to see the HTML. Place your cursor where you would like the link to appear and drag and drop the object onto the canvas. This will generate a link, and when the recipient clicks this link, it will show them the HTML version of the email that they would have received live on the internet. In addition to WebView objects, you can reference forms or unsubscribe links by expanding and selecting an available option. Here we would like to put the unsubscribe link for recipients to click to get to the unsubscribe form and opt out globally from all marketing messages. We can click on the unsubscribe form object and drag it to where our cursor is, and this will generate a link for recipients to click on to unsubscribe. Note that in the HTML, this unsubscribe object will generate an entire tag. When we drag the object into the HTML, this will actually create a full link including the link text. When we double click on the unsubscribe form object, we can configure this to specify what the text should be. When we double click, this will bring up the configuration box, and for the link text, we enter the text that we would like to have displayed. So recipients will see this text, and when they click on it, they will automatically be taken to the correct URL. Note that in the Hub, an unsubscribe form object is required for any campaigns that will be sent as marketing campaigns. Marketing campaigns exclude all recipients who have opted out of marketing emails, while operational campaigns will be sent to all recipients regardless of their global opt-out status. If you set up your campaign and select marketing as the campaign type, it will require that your content has an unsubscribe form object. Once we have loaded our content, we want to check to be sure that all images have been loaded into the system as well. If you are loading a zip file, this will all be created for you with the images correctly referenced. However, if you copy and paste your content, be sure that the image references are for absolute URLs on the internet. In this case, our content had a local reference to an image on our computer. This image will need to be loaded into the system, and then you will need to pull in an image from your library. If you expand the Images dialog, you will see your images and you can scroll through and select the appropriate image. Once the images have been added, you can preview your content. Click the Preview button. Please note it's important to test your content in an email program using the test function in your campaign. This will allow you to be sure that your message will display as intended and that all links will be functional. The preview allows you to verify that all of your images and content are showing generally how you expect. You also can fill in options for any personalization that you've used by clicking on the General Settings. If you have used any personalization, you will have options to fill in some sample data. For example, here is our text version with the first name personalization, and if we enter a name here, we can click on Refresh and see how that value will look in our content. Click on the X on the top corner of the screen to save your information and close the preview screen. We would want to save the content periodically into the library. Simply navigate to the location and enter a name. Next, if you go to Action, Validate Email Document, and validate the HTML, you can check for any errors that will prevent you from using this content in a campaign. Please note that this does not verify that your code is correct. You would want to use an HTML validation tool in order to confirm that you do not have any HTML errors. This tool only checks to be sure that there are not any errors that will affect using this campaign in the Hub. You can view the source if you would like and see the generated HTML that has been created. You can expand the arrow here to view any messages if you have errors, which will be shown in red, warnings shown in orange, or messages shown in blue. If you do have any errors in your content, please note you will need to correct those errors before you can use the content in a campaign.